when you are making yourself better, you're not only increasing the organization's value, you're increasing your own value for yourself, for your family, and for the people around you. So guys, we got a very, very special guest speaker today. This individual is gonna give us a ton of value today. He has been a part of the Cardone organization for 9 years. For 9 years already. And he has actually accomplished an incredible career in this organization. He has been able to grow side by side, and we had the honor of having him with us today. This last conference, we invested on what's called Cardone University, which is the sales program that's gonna help our organization do better in that area. And as part of this particular investment, we got this incredible guy spending some time with us today. So it's an honor for us to have him here. This is somebody that has created an incredible future, not only for Cardone and Cardone organizations, but for himself. He has been able to increase his own value. I always talk about that to you guys, right? Like when you are making yourself better, you're not only increasing the organization's value, you're increasing your own value for yourself, for your family, and for the people around you. So he's been able to do exactly that by being a part of this organization that is expanding like crazy. Sometimes, you know, you see a guy that's successful and you're like, I want to be like you when I grow up. Or I see a company that's successful like them and I want to be like them when I grow up. AGM is 5 years old. Cardone Enterprises has been around for a lot longer than that. And we have a great example of what this journey can look like. And I want to have him talk a little bit about his success. He's going to talk about the culture that they have in the Cardone Enterprise and something that is essential for the success of every single one of us. And he's going to maybe try to paint a picture for you guys as to your own individual growth in the organization as you help the organization grow, and also why do we care so much about the success of the organization, right? Why is it so important for the organization to do better? What happens to us in a good organization at an individual level when the organization succeeds, right? Because this is what I believe in. And then I'm gonna hand over the mic to him. I believe that any good organization in the world needs to grow hand in hand with the people in that organization. Meaning that not only the organization is growing, but every single member of the organization is also growing. When you see an organization growing and you see only the leader benefiting from that, that's a broken organization. And that's something that is not part of our culture. As some of you guys that know me, that have been with me for years, a lot of you guys in this group have been with this group for a long time. You know that I have an intentional push to make you guys more successful as the organization becomes more successful, and I want to see you guys all growing. So this is something that is an important part of the culture and something that we want to keep on going deeper on, all right? So without further ado, Steve Spray from the Cardone Enterprises.
What's up, guys? How are you? How's everybody doing this morning? Good. Nice, excellent. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for that. Let's give it up for him one more time for Manuel. Thank you, man. Thank you. Man, this is very special. Like, I just want to acknowledge you guys for an amazing place here. You know, I don't know how many companies there are. There's probably 25 million small businesses in America, something like that, or I don't know, maybe that number's made up, but there's a lot out there. And not every single company is doing what you guys are doing today. And I just want to acknowledge you guys for everything that you've done. He's been telling me about, you know, when you guys started, you know, 5-6 years ago, from what you've done, what you've created. And that just coming from somebody that's been in a company that has just seen extreme affluence and extreme success, it doesn't happen without each one of you guys, man. So give yourself a hand real quick. So my name's Steve Spray. Yeah, light it up, man. Light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up. Woo! We start every single day with jumping jacks. So we like come in and you know, the sales team, like we get together, we do jumping jacks. So as a team, we all do that. You know, the way to have more energy is to use the energy that you have. You know, so that is a good business practice too. So you guys want to get out, close more deals, get in front of more people. You know, look, you got to use the energy that you guys have. So I just want to share with you guys. I know he talked about, hey, use your story. Tell everybody where you came from. So the short version, I'll tell you guys, I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. grew up on a farm, was not around successful people. You know, people see me today, they see me, you know, rolling around with a billionaire. They see me rolling around with literally every single person's worth 5, 10, 15, 20 million dollars in every room I get into today. But that's not where I started. And where I started was around people that they didn't know anything about business. They didn't know anything about connections, middle class, you know, and that's not something that I was like, I wasn't lucky. I wasn't around people that like I got some school that, you know, I went to Harvard or something like that. Never had it. But I will tell you guys the success trick. The number one strategy to be successful is just to get around the right people that can take you to the next level. It's not something that you're going to do. It's something that you guys are going to do as a group. So I didn't come from that. I did not come from, you know, the people that were already successful. I didn't start with any money. I didn't have that. I never even thought about success and wasn't around people that were successful to, you know, in business and sales and with money. And like, I didn't get any special financial advice. Did not have that. But I continued to reach. You know, I always knew I had this feeling that like, hey, I wanted to do better. And so I found Grant Cardone. Raise your hand if you know Grant Cardone. Okay, good. So we're doing a good job over there.
If they didn't know Grant Cardone, we were going to have a talk.
Yeah, well, you know,
because we've been talking about it quite a bit recently.
Yeah, well, that would have been my fault actually. And so our job is to be known by 8 billion people. That is the mission. And you know, the mission is something that is talked about all the time. You know, when we look at something, it's like, it's not, hey, is this going to work? It's not what problems. It's like, hey, is this go towards the mission to get 8 billion people? So look, when I started with Grant Cardone, we didn't even have any of what you see today. So I was the 7th employee. I came down to work for him. The company's doing a couple $1 million per year. And, you know, he had a long career of being successful, but he hadn't had a long career of yet. This is right around the time the 10X rule had came out. Who's read the 10X rule? Anybody read that book? If you have not read 10X rule, guys, get that book. That book will take you to the next level no matter what you're doing. So I get down there. I'm the 7th employee working with them, and I have no money. I don't know if you guys know the difference of living in Indiana and living in Miami, but I was paying $400 a month rent in Indiana, and I was living nice. In Miami, that doesn't even exist. And if you pay $1,500 a month in rent, you should probably have some protection with you because it's dangerous. So here I am going to a place that I don't even know what's to be expected. I don't know what it's going to be. They weren't talking about jets. They weren't talking about massive success. What they were talking about was, hey man, we want to blow this thing up. We want to take this thing to the next level. Same thing that's happening over here. You guys are talking about getting to the next level. You don't even know what it's going to look like tomorrow. You have no idea. You just know what it looks like today and that you're around people that do want to take it to the next level. That is going to be in my situation, what I've seen throughout my years that is the most successful action, getting around the people that are trying to run into massive affluence in their life. And that's what this company is all about. And so working with Grant, when I first started, had no money, wasn't making sales. By the way, let's go back to the rent story. I wasn't able to afford rent in Miami, but I still committed. I found a lady on Craigslist, actually, that said she would rent me her room. It was not a room. It was a cot in the back of her used furniture store on South Beach. This is like a hilarious story that my company loves because they can tell it because, you know, I didn't actually tell them I was doing that. You know, that's probably not something you tell your manager, like, hey, man, like, I don't even have I literally live in the back of a store. You know, like I literally got to come in and out outside of office hours, you know, because like.
There's something that you said that was really powerful.
Sure,
that
yeah.
I want to repeat it, right? Because I sometimes I like to communicate that, but the way you said it makes a lot of sense. You said getting around the people that are trying to achieve massive affluences, right?
Yeah.
Could you describe what you mean by that so it's very clear? Because I understand what you meant,
Yeah.
but just so they understand also what that means.
Yeah, so look, if you guys want to do better in your life, like it's not something that you personally, like you don't need to go out and start your own business. That is not the way to do it. The way to do it is to like get in a group that's got some momentum. When you have momentum, you can take advantage. If you guys notice that in your life, when you have momentum, you can take advantage, because then you can throw all the fuel on the fire and move even quicker. But you got to get that success in your life. Well, dude, ask him. It's hard to get out there and start this thing. It's hard to get going. So most of you guys, you don't even have the capacity to do that or even have the interest, but you can still have the success by riding with the group and attaching yourself to a name and a person and a group and somebody that's saying, dude, we're taking this thing as far as we can go. We don't even know how far we can take it, but we're interested in what that looks like. And so just want to acknowledge you guys for that. And I'm telling you, look, you can be whatever you want here. That's what I realized for working for Grant Cardone. You know, so like as I was going through, I was never promised anything, just like maybe you guys aren't promised anything. The only thing that they're promising you is that, dude, what can we do today to get to the next level? And you got to recognize that. You got to recognize that, because that's what's going to help you get to those next levels in your life, whatever that may be. You know, you may not have big, crazy dreams to own jets or real estate or things like that, but there is something in your life that you do want. And you can get it a lot faster by connecting with him. Like, this is the thing that I learned. I mean, I came down here, I'm living in the back of a furniture store making no money. I literally had to sell my car so I could afford to do that, by the way. And I was riding the bus to work every single day. Every single day I was getting more in tune with the company. Like, what can I do? I was listening to books, audios. I was trying to figure out what is it that I don't know about how to get to this next level. And so I'm always trying to improve myself and my position. I wanted to be a valuable asset to the company. And so for you guys, figure out, like, how can I learn and figure out, look, how can I add more value from this seat right here? Because that is how you guys are going to make more money. Because that is how you're going to figure out, because when you start making some noise and your stats go way up and all of a sudden it's like, dang, we didn't know we could do that. Wow, we didn't know we could produce that. And you guys start doing even more than what your job expected you to do. That's when they come in and say, dude, you know, let's do more of this. And that's where opportunity is. That's how you make more money. I know that you guys had talked about now everybody's got an opportunity to sell some additional products, you know. Like in our company, you don't have pay raises. Actually, nobody really makes a high salary, even the executives. Everybody's based off production.
It happened the other day. We announced that, and this guy right here, who's a powerhouse marketer in the front, we talked about the opportunity. He found an opportunity right away, and he closed it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when the opportunity presents itself, it's about finding it, right? Just discovering that opportunity. This guy right here,
this guy
he
right
manages
here?
he manages accounts, and that's what he does. And he has a salary, and you know, there's other games that we have in place for them to also, like, as the companies expand that we manage. But we announced, hey, look, if you find an opportunity and the sales team is not finding it, it's your job to present it. You get to make a commission. But there's also alliances that could be formed now in which, like,
absolutely,
you know, they connect with each other.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, you got an advantage over here. That's awesome. You know, so like that's really good. Like, you got the opportunity. Like, if you guys want to see that. So for me, I was looking for that. I was looking for that in our company. I mean, when I started, we were doing a couple $1 million in sales per year. But I knew that they kept coming in every single day talking about where we were going. You guys got to look at that. Like, the future is where all the freedom is. Everything that you want with freedom comes in the future. It's where you guys are going to next. And so I was able to, you know, push and find the opportunity in that company. I ended up tripling my sales income the first year. I tripled that income the next year. I tripled the income after that the following year. I mean, if you guys just do the math on any number like that, you know, like I was up there. Had no idea that was what was going to happen, though. But I'll tell you what was happening. I was very interested in, dude, how do I help this group? I knew that there was a noble thing that they were doing. They were helping companies do things that, dude, they didn't know how to do. You know, they were helping people be successful. Same thing that you guys are doing. You guys got a great product, a great business. You're helping people. What's a good success story that you guys have had recently? What was a success that somebody said?
They're pure gold.
They're pure gold.
Our stats have been in affluence every single week after week.
Yeah.
Whatever they do, they take over and they blow it out of the water. They're my long-term solution to my marketing needs, and it's somebody of a lot of power.
Wow.
Somebody with a big, big reputation, an amazing doctor with a big audience. So he was saying, like, you know, I could have paid $100,000 for that promotional piece, and he did it for free.
Wow.
It was incredible. Like something that, you know, and I was talking to the sales guys, and I'm like, who uses this? And they don't use it enough. And I think that's something that I'm trying to incorporate. Like, look, people believe other people more than they believe you as a sales guy.
True.
Right? So it's something that we do have a lot of successes. That was one that we just went over yesterday.
Nice. Yeah, congrats on that, guys. Give yourselves a hand on that. So, look, like, you guys got to think with that with every single client. You know, not everybody's going to do as well as you think, but that's what you should believe. You know, in Sell or Be Sold, if you guys read the book from Grant Cardone, Sell or Be Sold, he talks about the most important sale. And he always talks about, dude, you should actually believe that your customers are all going to see the most value and the most benefit. You should think with that, because they will believe what you believe. So if you believe that, dude, you can help somebody out in one area and all of a sudden it's going to solve 10, 20, 30, 40 problems that they've probably been trying to solve and help their business grow and actually relieve them of some challenges that they've had, dude, you guys got to press. You know, it is your duty. Like, when you have something that's good, it's your duty to actually press and get it into more people's hands. Otherwise, what are you hiding for? Why are you trying to hide something that's good, that's helping people? And that's the way you got to look at it. So when you come in here every single day, you guys got to look at, dude, who are we helping and who's next? Who's next? Who else can we help? And that's where you guys do that long enough, you guys are going to start finding more opportunity in this company. These guys don't know where it's at yet. They don't know where the opportunity is at yet. When we were expanding in the company, I was asking the same question you guys were. How do I make more money? Dude, they don't know yet because they haven't been there. But what they're doing the same thing is they're looking every day for, like, where's that expansion go? And if you're one of those people that are pressing, and you're doing really well in your post, and you're doing more than what you were expected to do, and you're not just clocking in every single day and like, yeah, I did my job, you're going to find opportunities. And you're going to start helping people. And guess what? This job is going to be amazing for you because you're going to love it. And you're going to be more rewarded from the results. I imagine that probably made you guys feel pretty good that, like, somebody came out and said, dude, thank you guys so much. You can feel the relief that somebody like that has, where they're like, I mean, how long has that person been in business?
For 15 years.
Yeah, dude, 15 years, and they finally found a relief to this area. Dude, that's amazing. And that is what produces happiness. Like, if you guys want to find out how to be more excited, it's the production. It's getting people results. So, you know, that's where, like, look, you guys are going to keep expanding this thing. You guys are going to keep growing. You guys are going to run into challenges and problems. And when I started with Grant, I was the 7th employee. Today we have over 800.
Wow. Let's clap that up.
Like, I'll be honest, we have businesses today that, like, I didn't even know we had. So, like, that's where we're at. You know, I remember I took some time off last year to go do some work, and I came back. It was a short period of time, and I come back, and I'm like, there's so many new faces. Like, this is where you guys can be a company that is so massive and so expansive that you're literally walking in here, and you don't even know all the people that work in the company. Like, that is exciting. That is cool. That is something that I'm telling you is more exciting today than it was a long time. We had a lot of success along the way. The affluence, there's a lot of challenge going up, but man, it's a lot of fun. It's a rocket ride. And you guys are going to see that here, because I know that's what they're going for. And they're going to figure out who has whatever it takes. They're going to figure out who wants to contribute to that. And those people are going to be rewarded. So I do want to open this up, man. I want to find out if you guys have any questions. Anything you guys want to ask? Any sales questions? Any things about, like, motivation, discipline, business? Like, I have my hands on a lot of stuff in the company. So if you guys have questions about different stuff, let me know.
Hi.
Hey.
By the way, thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question in terms of the motivation and discipline behind that. So how do you get behind the fact that every single day, every time you wake up, what's the driving factor? What's the one thing that you have to keep in mind so you can keep that motivation and keep that discipline every single day?
The destination, the target. What's the target? You got to know where you're going. You know, I know there's, like, a lot of fun sayings out there, like it's not the destination, it's the journey. Like, the journey's fun, but if you don't know what the destination is, you're not going to hang in there. And so, like, for me, like, I write my goals down every single day, twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. Like, I do that every single day. I'm, like, repeating. I know that if I look at these goals long enough, I'm going to figure out the math on it. And these goals change over time because I ended up achieving them. And so when you're trying to figure out, dude, how do I stay connected? Like, you got to know where we're going. You know, what's the target? So for you, like, what's your position in the company? Like,
So right now I'm working with sales.
oh, beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you should come in every single, yeah, I love that, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Clap it up.
So every day, dude, you need a target. You need to know, and I know they've got all the graphs and everything for you, and so you got to watch those, and you'll do that. But you need to know, like, you need to ask yourself, like, how much money would change my life, and you need to set that target.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you guys right now, if the goal's not big enough, you're not going to go after it. If it doesn't produce a change in your life, you will not go after that target. I'm telling you, you will fall short on it every single time because there's not enough juice to squeeze on handling the rejection or the problems or the upsets or the blah, blah, blahs. Whatever you're going to run into, you will not go for it if it doesn't make a difference for you. And like, that's what you got to realize here in this company. Like, what is your target in this company to do? You know, so maybe you're not in a sales position where it's like, hey, there's maybe commission-based or something, but you got to ask yourself, dude, am I going all in? Because if you overproduce in your position, somebody's going to come up to you and say, dude, you're so valuable that, like, hey, we need you to do this and this. Like, I've seen, there's people in my company today that when they were not valuable in one moment until they overcame all of that for multiple years, and now they make 7 figures per year as an executive in the company.
You know what I liked about what Steve just said? He said, my company. You know, this whole concept of ownership of this organization is very powerful because he takes it personal. And I'm interested in your viewpoint on that, but the guys that I've actually connected with in the Cardone world, they all feel like they own a piece of the pie. That's how it feels like, right? The organization wins, they're all winning. And it's that culture that's in place that we're all moving forward. Yes, there's the owner and the CEO, right? But generally, you feel that ownership.
Yep.
And they take it personal when something is not successful.
Yeah.
Or when there's a failure, and when there's a win, they celebrate it together. And that whole concept, I really like how you said that it's my company, right?
Yeah. Well, it is. You know, like, you know, there's two, if you're trying to divide your life in your business, then, like, you don't really understand what's going on. Like, this is just you living your life. And you guys got to believe that this is yours. Like, you own a piece of this, and so, like, you should treat it that way. There's a piece of trash on the ground, you pick it up like it's your house. If somebody is having a hard time and you figure out, hey, what's happening? You know, like, if you had somebody in your household that was having a hard time, you would figure out what was going on, man. How can I help them out, right? So same thing here. You want to treat it the same. I mean, in most cases, you guys probably spend more time here with these people than you do with the people in your family. You know, so you guys got to know that, like, this is your family. Like, this is real. Like, in the better that you do here, like, there's no shortage of success. That's why everybody believes, dude, like, oh, wow, you did that? And there's a saying in our office, thank you for showing me what's possible. Like, when somebody does something really good, it is, because Grant has always talked about, he's like, when you see successful people, you should thank them. Thank them for showing you what's possible. And that is the viewpoint that we have continued to have, because it's like, man, your success doesn't limit me from my success. There's no shortage of success, by the way. You know, so the more that he creates, the more that I have a chance to create. You know, so we make a sale back here, a sales guy gets a commission. That's great. I'm not hating on him for being a sales guy. I'm like, dude, that was amazing. People are buying this. This is great. Like, what else are they getting? Like, man, good job on that. Dude, now all of a sudden I got an opportunity over here. You know, I can see what's possible. You know, so you guys don't have to recreate anything. You just have to look around and find out, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? We got good works. These guys over here just calling people, making sales. Look, I wonder if I just talk to the same people I'm reaching out to every day, if they would buy more from us. You know, so we create a successful environment. And when you do that, when you look at success as your duty every day, you come to work with your goals. You know that, like, dude, this is your space. Like, this is your space. It's your job. It's your business. It's what you're doing. And each one of you are a business. Each one of you have a financial statement. You know, each one of you guys have expenses. So if you got to look at that and figure out every day, how do I contribute to the top line of that business? You know, so that's what we do. You're right. You get committed to the deal as if it's yours.
Yeah. So I love that. Thank you for showing me what's possible, right? Like, just pointing out Dan over here, because Dan created that whole thing a couple of weeks ago, and that's a great thing. Like, everybody should be like, oh, wow, that's possible. Thank you, Dan. Let me see if I can do that myself on my side. It's like the whole concept of when we were working with your guy, Coach Eric, right? Like, the whole concept of we are in control of our own income.
Yeah.
Sounds like, oh, wait a second, but I got a fixed salary, and I don't really. But here's the thing. When you really deliver the value, the growth is inevitable.
Yep.
And if you're not growing after an abundance of value, you're either in the wrong organization or you're just not communicating that value.
Yeah.
Right? You could be providing so much value to the group, but nobody really knows what you're doing. So we don't help you grow. But then I have other people that I get to see and they communicate. Like yesterday, Kevin, at 11 o'clock at night, he was making a client happy. And at midnight, this is a VIP client for us, very important client. He doesn't have to be doing that. He doesn't have to answer any communications. But at midnight, one of the clients was like, oh my God, it's amazing. I want to thank you guys so much. Like, and I get to see that because I'm on that chat. So for me, that's like, oh my, this guy, right? Like delivering that value, but making sure that that value is being observed by others. Now, if other people are observing that value and you're not growing, then that organization is broken.
Yeah.
That's the way that I like to describe. It's either or, right? Like, so if you really feel that you're over-delivering, you got to communicate it more efficiently. And if you're not communicating it, then something is broken in this organization, as simple as that, right?
Yeah, and that's where, look, guys, here's a few things. Number one, over-promise, over-deliver. That is like, if you can live by that, you know, it's always backwards where they're like, hey, under-promise, or I don't even know what it
Even myself, I said under-promise, Steve. You should prove me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I said, because the expectations in our side has been devastating, right? Like,
Right.
oh, we're going to help you get
Exactly.
7 ROI,
Yeah.
and then next month they get 1 ROI, and it's a meltdown.
Yeah, well, check this out. What if you guys just did this? What if you over-promised, over-delivered? Hey, I'm gonna do my job, dude. You're gonna love what I'm doing. I'm building a website. I'm building this. I'm building that. I'm building the graphics. I'm doing this, dude. I'm doing that. You're gonna love it when you're done. And then for whatever reason you over-deliver on that, do you think you're gonna be better off or worse off? So if you can operate with that every single time, like I'm always gonna do exactly what I say, and I'm always gonna try to like even extend beyond that. I'm gonna stretch. You know, and like that's where you start creating value. Somebody who has just identified that, hey, I'm not a 9-to-5 guy. I'm not a family guy. I'm just living my life, and this is what my life is. He does have to do that. He's gotten to a place where he's figured out that, like in that moment, he knew. He wasn't like, well, I'm off the clock. He knew, he stepped up and said, dude, I know that I got to handle this right now. It's the right thing to do. And I'll just like acknowledge you for your ethics, because when you guys are doing the right thing, like your ethics will kick in and you know that, hey, dude, I got to do this right now. And so like that is where you want to get to in your life, where you can like ethically know that, dude, I have to do this. I got to get to it. I got to over-deliver because I said I was going to do it, you know. And so I just want to acknowledge him for that.
It's really good. Here's the thing. There's no status quo, right? Things get better or worse. If he doesn't answer that communication at night, right, you got to understand that that's affecting the survival of the group. So even though I cannot impose it because we got HR and policies and rules, right?
Yeah.
You as an individual, you know that if you don't handle that point, right, you are all in with the growth of the organization. So if you don't handle that point, that client's relationship gets weaker and weaker and weaker.
Right.
And if it gets weaker, it affects the growth of the group and it affects your individual growth.
Right.
It really is common sense.
Yeah.
There's rules, like you said, that are in this society, right? The whole 9-to-5 culture.
Yeah.
But a real group that's winning doesn't really operate in that way.
Right.
And that's something that I admire from you guys a lot. Your sales guys are selling to me on Sundays, man, and they're all in.
Yeah.
Cornelius was sending, he's our sales guy. Some of you guys have seen him. He was at the beach with his family on Sunday, right? And he's trying to sell me a mastermind. By the way, he sent the entire company pizzas here. All right, last week.
Yeah, good.
All right,
Nice.
This is Cornelius. All right, you guys saw pizzas coming in, and you're like, "Can I eat this?" And I'm like, "I don't eat pizzas." Cornelius, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the pizzas, right? I didn't tell him that I don't eat pizzas, right? I don't want to be rude like that. But anyways, the guy is really all in with helping the organization grow, but helping himself along the way grow. It's a commitment, right? Yeah. So on Sunday he goes to the beach, and he's with his family. I don't know who, because he didn't give me pictures and videos of the family, but he's like, Manuel, I'm here at the beach. You see the sandy beach? The cowboy's going to be even better. And I want you to go. Like, it's on a Sunday, so that commitment, that's something that you guys are really deep into, right? The word committed, right? Like the word, I'm all in with this particular culture, right? Something that I want to get to the point in which we have that culture, not because it's benefiting me, it's just benefiting us, right? Like, we've come a long way not having your exact culture. So, you know, if you can talk about a little bit on the commitment of things, right? And how these guys are all aligned on the single direction and a single purpose. That's something that I admire a lot about you guys.
Yeah, so thank you for that. So guys, let me ask you a question really quick. From that story, do you think Cornelius was working or having fun? Having fun, yeah, you know, in both, like, right? So he's working, but dude, he's having fun. He's
that guy that spoke right there is Roberto. He's always having fun.
Dude, I love my man.
He's a 7-a-day, 24/7 guy. All right. Whenever he's needed, he's there. He's an example of that.
Yeah. I love it, you know, so like we've just created a culture where like it's not, you work hard. Like that is the thing, like you do work hard, you know, but you're really just living your life. You know, we talk about production yields happiness, you know, and I know that a lot of you guys know that, right? So, dude, the time I'm most happy is when I'm winning, you know? So he said it right there. He said, actually, you get more, less, or the same. You know, and less and the same are actually just less. So there is no the same. You're either going up or you're going down. And so where do you want to be? And you got to ask yourself that question. Now, the way to get committed is figure out, dude, what is the why? Like, what would change my life? You know, what would I need to do here to cause a big enough effect that I could be proud of it, or I could do something? Like, it may not be money for you. You know, I'm just in sales, and my job is to get money for the company. So that's where, like, that is my target. So I go after money targets. I like that. But for you, it might not be that. So you need to figure out, hey, what do I need to do here to produce such a good effect? Maybe it's just good works. You know, maybe it's like doing so good with a client that every time they send in a video that's like, dude, you guys changed their business. Thank you. Maybe that is what, you know, fuels you. So you got to figure out, what is it that gets you committed? What is the why? Why are you showing up here every single day? Because if you don't have that, I talked about writing your goals down every morning and every night. If you guys don't write your goals down every single day, then you're just like aimlessly going after, you may not even know. But if you write your goals down, then you kind of have a good idea of like why you're dealing with some of the stuff that you deal with. Like I get hung up on all day long. Sometimes I get people that are crazy. You know, I went out for a run this morning. I had a guy call me up. He's yelling at me about something. You know, he had his own issues. I'm like, dude, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that. You know, but I still took the call. You know, because this is my duty to do that, and I had to handle his deal. I mean, you know, and actually, he was the one that has his ethics out. You know, so I could step back and be like, no, he's the problem, or I could be like, dude, let's just work this out. Let me help you solve this problem. You know, let me get into it. You know, so why am I dealing with that? Well, I got my goals in. You know, I know that's the goals that I wrote down. They're going to come with some problems. They're going to come with challenges. And you shouldn't be trying to get rid of problems, because you're always going to have those. You should be trying to figure out, dude, how do I get better problems? You know, like, you know, let me give you an example. Work-life balance. You know, well, I can't spend enough time with my family. Or, look, let me give you an example. I was not to a position until just maybe a couple years ago to really spend some like very serious quality time with my family in a big way. You know, so they live in Indiana, I live in Miami. I don't get to fly and see them all the time. And so my mom's always asking me, like, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? And I'm like, just the thought of going back to Indiana, and I'm like, when are you guys coming down here? You know, and but I was always running into this, and I was like, dude, that is not my problem. My problem is I'm not creating a big enough effect that like they're loving the time that we do spend together, because I'm always just going in for a quick second and I'm popping in and out. So what I did is I said, hey, I'm flying your family, I'm flying our whole family, everybody in the whole family, and I'm flying my fiance's family. Everybody's going out to Malibu for Thanksgiving, and we're going to spend a whole week out there on a house. And I created an experience for my family 2 Thanksgivings ago that, dude, they will have forever. And that was something that, like, I just changed. I'm like, dude, I got a problem, but that's a boring problem. I wanted a good problem, you know? I don't know if you guys ever rented a really nice house on Malibu for, like, 14 people, and paid for flights, but dude, that's a big problem.
Quite a bit of money.
That's a big problem, you know? And like, dude, was it easy to write the check or like do that? No, but I'll tell you what, man, I changed every single person that was there changed their life. The experience that they were able to have was something that none of them would have been able to create. Like they haven't found that commitment in their life that they could actually show up to every day, deal with the hard stuff, and know that like, hey, the end result is being able to do some cooler stuff like that for a lot more people. And so if you can figure that out and you can find that in yourself, but like if you're one of those able people that like knows that, hey, dude, I'm actually capable of more, then it is your job and it is your duty to actually do that for those people who haven't got there yet. And that's where like the commitment comes in. You got to figure out, dude, why am I showing up here? Maybe I just need to show up here to figure out, dude, how do I make these guys have a bigger, better job? Maybe the sales guy's like, dude, I'm just going to take responsibility for this whole thing. I'm going to come in here and make more sales than anybody's ever seen before, and I'm going to start causing these guys a little problem. Hey, man, guess what? Just doubled your workload. You know, I'm going to cause these guys a problem. Hey, you need to hire 3 more people today. You know, like that.
We want those problems. That's
yeah,
for sure.
Of course you. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude. Is that a better problem? That's a more fun problem. You know what I'm saying?
Go.
You know, or you end up with other problems that are less. You know, it's like you notice that the smallest problems are the hardest to solve. They're like the worst. You know.
How to get toilet paper reordered.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Small problem. You know.
Out of stock.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, small problem. This is where you got to figure out. So this is where the commitment thing comes in. It's like, are you committed to a higher level? You know, and like that for me has just been what has helped me get to a place where, dude, I started finding some success for myself. So I know that's possible for you guys.
That's fantastic.
Question. So I'm Carly. We're doing a lot of branding right now and actually doing like some outreach to businesses. And so I know I've been doing the sales training as well. So I know it's huge on attitude and treating everybody like a millionaire. But if there was one thing that you could say, if you're reaching out to a brand new business or some, you know, any top tip that you would give, what would that be?
Well, so are you cold calling them?
We're actually going into their business.
Cold visiting.
Knocking in?
Yeah.
So a good attitude is like step one. You know, I know people see the good attitude videos in our program, and they're like, well, duh. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that you need to get, that video was for you. So you got to have a really good attitude when you go in and just basically say, you know, hey, my name's Carly. You don't know me, and I don't know you. But our company is actually helping other businesses like yours increase their company's sales by 30 to 40% in less than 90 days.
We're going to cut and paste this. We're going to cut this exact thing, and you're going to practice it on the wall.
You got to tell people what they're already thinking. Like, just take it away from them. You don't know me, and I don't know you. Oh, we're not interested. Hey, dude, listen, look, I'm knocking on your door cold. Didn't expect you to have any time or be interested at all. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, because if you knew what I had, because we're helping companies do about a 30 to 40% increase in sales in less than 90 days, I knew that if you knew that, you would have called me. Okay, so the fact that you didn't know that, man, I figured I'd drive over here. Okay, if I could do half of that, if I could even do half that, would you give me 10 minutes just to share with you what we're doing? And look, if you don't like what I have to share with you, I'll walk out. Is that a deal?
I'm going to try to hire Steve. I'm going to find out how much it's going to cost us to take him out with you for a day. I don't know if we can afford it.
Yeah.
Right?
So, guys, look, I didn't sound like that when I first started. I could barely talk when I first started. I was like, you know, I mean, it was embarrassing. I remember, like, our office was so small when I first started that Grant Cardone sat 10 feet from me and could hear every single thing that I was saying.
I remember that office. I remember seeing videos on that.
So when you're not good and you got Grant 10 feet away from you, oh, my God. So
it was like cubicles, right?
No, we didn't have cubicles when I started.
I remember
I had a card table.
I remember Grant jumping on calls, right, and just being right there in a small little room. Right?
We did end up graduating to the cubicles, which was nice because even when people suck, they could kind of lean down a little bit, you know. And hey, there's the thing, like you're going to suck when you first start doing things that are new to you. Like that is like if you feel like, hey, I don't want to. That's not me. Like I'm not good yet, dude. It's just because you haven't done it yet. Like the first time you rode a bike, you weren't good. You fell off, you broke your 2 front teeth. You know, like you weren't good. Now you're probably great. This is where what I want to tell you guys is when Grant, he would actually hear me on a call. I remember getting a business owner on a call. If you're a salesperson and you reach out to people, you know how difficult. Like you do 100 calls to get a few business owners on the call. And so you know what type of effort it takes. Well, I remember getting one guy on a call and trying to pitch him And Grant, sitting across from me, goes, dude, that is terrible. Hang up on that guy. So, like, you can become great at anything that you put all of your attention and commitment to. But what happens is, if you don't understand why you're doing it, you guys aren't going to ever get to that level. If you don't know that and it's not always one thing too. Guys, it's everything. It's everything. It's over-promising, over-delivering. It's knowing that people can buy. It's knowing that people need help. It's knowing that they don't know about our product yet, because if they did, they would have already bought it. It's writing your goals down every single day. It's having discipline. Like, people always ask, like, hey, what's that thing? And, like, I know what they're asking, but also I always like to mention that, dude, there's not one thing that I do that has contributed to success. If I didn't do all of it, none of it would have worked. See what I'm saying? So the fact that you guys are here in a place where they're pressing, they're pushing every single day, they're fighting the good fight, and you get to be a part of that, and you guys get to be a part of a group where each person is leaning in, dude, take advantage. This is something that I want to end with, and if you guys have other questions, I'll answer them. Look, take advantage while you're here, even if you're not going to be here forever. Because what happens is the same person that leaves here goes to the next place. And so if you didn't give it every single thing that you possibly could, like, you guys aren't going to be here. Like, I know that I'm not going to be with Grant. Like, I'm 35 years old. Like, I got a lot of time left on this planet. I know that I'm not going to be with him forever. I know at some point I got to step out, but I am so committed while I'm here to making this unbelievable, because I know that whatever happens next doesn't happen unless I go all in right now. And so that's where I want to put you guys in a situation that, look, like, every day is a new day for you. Like, you get a chance to just start over, but don't take it for granted. Lean in. Take advantage. You guys are on a rocket ship right now. Dude, when you're on a rocket ship, man, you try to help it go faster. You just throw gas on it, So make sure that it goes faster. And when you guys can do that, you're just going to put yourself into a better position in your life.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. Amazing.
I wanted to comment about the writing the goals down. I've been doing that for years now, and it has helped me, like, increase my income. Before we started this agency, I was writing that down and connecting with Manuel and stuff like that. So I even have my daughter now. She's 9, and she's writing down her goals every day now.
Oh, so good.
It is hard sometimes, though, to stay consistent with that. But even not consistent, it still works. So doing it twice a day, I can imagine.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask about was 2 things. So if you could just talk about some of the creative ways that you guys follow up with some of the leads, because I know you gotta switch it up. So tell us some of those ways, and then just if you can talk about your experience on whatever it takes.
So follow up is a term in sales. When somebody doesn't make a sale, you need to follow up with them. So, like, just because somebody says no doesn't mean that there's not a deal. Like, how many things have you? What was that? Yeah. It means nothing. They don't even know yet. If they knew, they would have bought it. Right? So, like, that's the look that I take on. Even when people are like, I would never buy from you. I'm like, I'm with you. Everybody said that before. yeah. Well, or maybe 30ness. I've had a lot of long cycles. So follow up is the greatest sales secret of all time. Okay? How many people have kids? Okay? Your kids are probably great at follow up. Okay? You tell them no, how many more times they ask, They cut best follow-up. Like, if you guys just, if you just want to study the greats, just watch kids, so.
Yeah, you should have seen my 11-year-old Steve. Like, Gary and I have been experiencing that last week. He was on a fundraiser. A lot of you guys experienced my 11-year-old boy.
Yeah.
He's trying to win. He's competing against another girl. He cannot let this other girl win. So he's been hearing about Grant recently, right?
Yeah.
So he opened up a chat with the entire family, all right?
Wow.
He opened a chat with the whole family. He's like, guys, who's got my money?
That's awesome.
It was so funny. Right?
I like this kid. This is good.
11-year-old following up, guys, all right? 11-year-old.
Yeah. Kids are amazing. They have that game in them. And at some point along the way, you guys lose it. Like, you've been told no so many times, and you get embarrassed, and you call yourself an introvert or something. It's like not even real. It's not even true. Get back to that. Get back to where the game is there, where the excitement and the fun, and you're playing for pride, and you're playing for the game, and you're playing for the success and to help people. But with follow-up, it is the greatest sales secret of all time. When somebody says no, continue to hang in there. You want to have a good strategy. In our program, we got a whole list of just strategy on follow-up. I speak on, you've seen that? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're working on it. 365-day follow-up. Yeah.
So I've probably done some of the craziest follow-ups ever in our company. They had me speak on stage about this. I mean, I could go over just a couple.
Tell us one example. Tell us one crazy follow-up. Because I heard one the other day about somebody putting Grant Cardone's picture on the plane and photoshopping the guy in front and be like, that could be you.
Yeah,
right?
I created that.
Yeah, you created that
I
one?
created that. So that image goes out now every day to everybody. So yeah, once we
It's been automated.
Yeah,
It's
once
been
you find
automated.
something that works, duplicate it. Craziest follow-up I probably ever did. Followed up a $5 billion a year company. Every single one of you guys know who they are, and probably every one of you shop with them. And followed that company up for years, tried to get in front of them. The guy that I was going after, I dug through his LinkedIn, found out 3 years ago on a post. I mean, I'm talking, guys, stalker, okay? But, you know, dude, nobody was complaining. I was definitely not calling myself a stalker when I got paid from that deal. So I can just tell you guys, like, so look, sometimes, yeah, it's not stalking if it works, by the way. So, so I find out, I get this post, find out this guy climbed a mountain, 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 or something like that. I think that's one of them. And then there was another one, Mount Rainier, I think was the other one. And literally some guy commented, "Didn't you climb Rainier?" And he comments back, "Yes, Everest is next." So literally from 3-year cycle ago, I found that, saw it, hired a painter to paint this big painting. I paid $900. This is to get an appointment, by the way. This is not a sale. This is to get an appointment.
$900 out of your pocket.
Out of my pocket. I paid $900 to get this guy to paint the first mountain on one side, the second mountain he climbed on the other side, and Mount Everest in the background. And at the bottom, I put, "Success lies in the gap between where you're at and what your true potential is. Grant Cardone." And sent that out to him. This painting was big. It showed up in this big box. Guy sends me a video back. He's like, it's just interesting that somebody would go that deep on somebody's LinkedIn profile to figure it out, but thank you so much. So that was one crazy one. Like, I'll tell you guys another one. There was another company, they do, and I'm giving you examples of these big companies so that way you know that the deal, there's nobody that you can't do this with. There was another company, they do $600 million in sales per year. You guys all know them. You see their stores everywhere. These companies are almost impossible. They got thousands of employees, hard to get a hold of the CEOs, hard to get in front of them. So I remember looking at the dials in our CRM. I had 68 dials out to them without a return phone call over 2 years. Many emails, many communications, nothing. Okay, so my professional stalker in me decides to find out where this guy lives, okay, which is possible, by the way. If you guys need to know, I'll share with you how. So I found out where he lives. I got his address. I pulled up the old listing on his house. I pulled out pictures from where his house is. I took pictures, and what I did was I took pictures of myself. You graphics guys will respect this. I cut myself out, and I copied me inside of his house, showing him my program. So, and I did some funny stuff too. So like I was in his backyard showing him the program, like guys, cheesy smile, like totally ridiculous. Like it's obviously, you can see it's photoshopped. I put a dinosaur in the background, you know, so it's like, it's kind of funny. Did another one where I was jumping on his bed like that. So anyways, that was not the part of the follow-up. That was step one. Okay, here's what happened. Okay, this guy, we were friends on Facebook, by the way. So I go onto Facebook and I post on Facebook, "Hey, over at Andrew's house, showing him our new program." Okay, all these people go onto my page and start commenting, "Oh, I know Andrew, that's awesome." Like, you know, so this guy's getting ping, 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 ping. Okay, so he didn't answer me back, by the way. No problem. I had 3 more photos to go. So I post again 2 hours later, you know. It was one in his kitchen. It was like I was pouring juice. I'm like, the juice over at Andrew's house is so good. And so, you know, and again, ping, ping, ping. I got all my followers. They know exactly what I'm doing, you know. And so they're like, "Andrew, do the deal." Like, we weren't even doing it together. I was trying to get an appointment. And so then I did nothing. Didn't get anything back. 2 hours later, dude, all right, now I'm just getting excited. Okay, so I light up another one, hit him with the other one. That didn't do anything. I finally hit him with the 4th one. He comments at the end of the day. He said, "Oh my God, guys, this is the best follow-up I've ever seen. You got the appointment. I'll see you guys. You guys need to come by on Thursday." And I ended up getting the appointment. And thank you. So
Did you get the clothes?
absolutely. So absolutely. So we go over there, and then here I am, dude, all of a sudden, this guy, I never met him before, loves me. Like, dude, from all of that follow-up that like freaked him out, he was just so excited that like somebody would go to that level. He was inspired. He was like, dude, this is awesome. The guy's driving me around in his golf cart around his whole facility. Like, we're over there taking selfies on the golf cart. Like, dude, so you guys can do anything that you get committed to. You can flip anybody.
So listen, we're not
Yeah.
going to talk about exactly how much commission he made, but
Yeah.
the ROI on his time doing that Photoshop and create, I can tell you that we've never accomplished ROI like that here, all
Yeah.
right? From that.
Well, I mean, even, yeah, so I made a lot of money on that deal, and that was the least of, that's great. I needed that. But, like, I'll tell you, a couple months ago, this is like 6-7 months ago, I was actually out of town, so I couldn't attend this. But he texted me and said, hey, man, I want to invite you to my suite. Derek Jeter's going to be in it this week. Can you make it to the game? And how much does that cost?
No, that's
You know
priceless.
what I'm saying?
Priceless.
So, like, these are the things that you guys can create in your life.
relationships, right?
Relationships,
Building those
yeah.
relationships.
So those are the extreme ones. But I do a lot of selfie videos. I shoot videos. Hey, John, this is Steve, Grant Cardone's office, man. Hope you're doing well. Send him something funny. Send him something nice. I don't ever talk about the deal, right? This is kind of annoying, right? It's kind of like beggy. What I do, when I get you on the phone, I'm like, hey, man, hey, are we doing this deal? Like, so I go in for the close, but I'm sending a video or like getting creative or sending somebody a photo. I'm like sending them a picture of them mocked up on a jet with Grant Cardone, Yeah, exactly. For them just to like, because they get so stuck in the mechanics of a deal or like, oh, like, should we do this thing? It's like, dude, get them off the sticking points and get them back to the dream. Like, what are we doing here anyways? Like, dude, this stuff's all made up. This building's made up. The websites are made up. This is made up. The price is made up. The blah, blah, blah. Don't get hung up on whatever it is that you're hung up on. Let's just talk about where we going.
Right.
And that's what the imagination can take them to. That's why I like the fun follow-up.
Do you ever still bring in Grant and like the brand itself, like the personal brand, into these calls? Because I know he used to do that a lot, but I'm sure that it's become more like challenging as he's grown.
Yeah, so that's the cool thing about Grant. Grant, every day we would just go into him and say, hey, man, send this video to John. And he would just take my phone. Hey, John, this is Grant Cardone. Hey, I know you're working with my guy, Steve. I'm here to help you out. Okay, can't wait to do business with you. And it would be that simple. And he would do like 4 or 5 of those videos per day. And we'd send a personal touch out, to the clients. People like that,
Right.
So they know that, and it's not just Steve that we're working with. Dude, they got Grant. And they got Jeremy, and they got Todd, so we do crazy stuff too. We always, we always invite ourselves out, so we're always like, hey man, dude, if you're not gonna do this deal, I'm gonna fly in and see you guys, and we do fun stuff, we do serious stuff, we send books out. Do you guys have any hard material that you could send out? Maybe you guys could get something that's like Grant has books, right? So that's the thing about a book, have you guys ever tried to throw a book away? You can't do it. It's impossible. It's weird. Like, you try to.
You feel
stop.
like if something holds you back,
you can't
right?
even do it. Try it.
You
can't even,
keep
you're
it on
like,
your
"Whoa."
nightstand,
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
weird. You're like,
gotta-
yeah, so then
It's a
it stays there.
resistance
Yeah,
there, right?
you can't do it, right? So I know that, and I use that, right? So I send out books that takes up real estate because it stays on their desk for 3 weeks. So every time they walk by it, they see that book, reminds them, and then they get pinged by me on like an email or a text or a video, and then they keep walking by. So I'm just trying to stay relevant, trying to stay in somebody's face. I know that if they knew what I knew about my product, it's the right thing for them. So I feel okay pressing. I feel okay saying, dude, you need to do this, when they're like, we don't want to do that. Because I know what I'm helping somebody do. I know that they're not saying no to me or what I'm actually able to help them with. They're saying no to whatever idea they have about what it is we do. Right? So if you can just get to that place, and sales is a certainty game. So when the person who's most certain is going to make the sale. And so that's the thing in our company. We just know, because we're looking at success stories every day. We're looking at wins. We know that people should be successful. That's where it's committed, because we know that, dude, I need to do this deal with this guy.
It's going to help everybody. It's going to help them. It's going to help you. It's going to help them. It's a win-win.
That's right.
So do you have a question?
We're at time, or
Well,
last
we
question?
want to protect Steve's time for sure. He has family hanging out on the
last
beach
question,
I'm here
right
all day
now.
long. I'm here all
He's
day
all
long.
suited up over here. His entire family is at the beach right now,
Okay.
waiting for Steve. All right.
Last question, Steve, and we'll
He's
wrap it up.
committed. He doesn't need to be here. He is committed.
That is
committed
right.
to our
Appreciate
success.
that, Steve.
that is right.
Appreciate you coming out. I guess we could wrap it up with what's the number one thing you've learned from working with Grant, or what's the number one takeaway from working with Grant that has helped you grow? Just so.
Yeah, you know, like there's so many things, you know, like, man, if you guys, like when you guys find somebody that's like really doing something, you should pay attention and watch, you know, like you should see like and acknowledge and be like, dude, and you should just try to pay attention to everything. Like I'm always watching what Grant does, you know, like you guys have that here. I'm always trying to figure out why is he doing that? Why is his viewpoint of that? Why does he see it that way? Why did I see it this way, but he saw it that way? I'm always asking those questions because I know that, dude, this guy's got something different going on. And so some of the things that I've learned is that, dude, you should have always went bigger. You should have always done something bigger. You know, you always do stuff and you find out and you're like, man, that wasn't even that hard. You know, like you guys hit a sales number last year and then you're like, man, that was great, but man, we actually probably could have done more. You know,
We're not
like,
satisfied.
Oh yeah, you know, and it's not even, and so like not satisfied with that, but just knowing that like, man, you can get to the next level, and that is where the happiness is. Like if you actually just want to be happy, it's not what you're doing right now; it's where you're going. And so it is between the gap of where you're at and what your true potential is, you know, and that's where you get excited. That's where you get this like moment of excitement, you know, is when all of a sudden like you've got this goal that's like right there in reach, and but maybe it's a little bit too far out. Like your son who's got this game, he found the game. He found the game. It was there. It's out of reach. He saw some resistance, and he didn't back down. Most people back down. They're like, well, I got a 9 to 5. Not him, dude. This guy leaned in. This is where Grant said the other day, we were at this mastermind, and he says, dude, when you're getting counterintention in your life, you need to press. And you need to press so hard that counterintention becomes your levitation. Because when you take whatever's pushing on you, it's a sign that maybe you need to lean in a little bit. And that's where like he's talked about, that's where he's seen his biggest like levels up. Like, and I've been able to watch it. Like it's been really cool to be there and witness and like see like these times where, man, he's dealt with some crazy stuff. Like I'm telling you, like if you guys think having a hater's bad, dude, I've seen some crazy stuff. And I've seen him like, just like your son, step up and say, dude, I ain't taking that. Okay, I'm doing it for pride. I'm doing it for success. I'm going all in. I'm going to over-deliver. I'm going to share. I'm going to let people know that, like, dude, I'm doing exactly what I said I was going to do. And those have been the times where he, like, leveled up, you know? So those are the things that, like, you know, I've witnessed from him. His commitment level has really inspired me. It's shown me that, man, I could be more committed because I see that you know, like when I tell you guys about that experience I had with my family where I took them all out, dude, that was huge for me and for them. Like after that, I felt really good about it, and I would encourage you guys to do that for people. Like it's a really good feeling. But I never would have even thought about something like that if I didn't see him trying to help so many people all the time. And that's not what you may see all the time. Maybe you guys follow him online and you're like, dude, I seen that guy doing cartwheels on his jet. You know, this guy, you know, like, dude, but also you didn't know that ad that we ran made millions of dollars and he donated a bunch of it to charity. So like, that's where I'm just like, dude, thank you for showing me what's possible. Because now I know what I can do.
That's power.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
So Steve, my final question to you is, you guys get to work with a lot of companies. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you guys deal with a lot of organizations. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are broken, a lot of them are doing well, and they're ready to get scale. From the ones that you have experienced, like in the Cardone University and the world of what you guys have offers, how many of them have like a culture like this with a leader and somebody that's thinking big and like massive growth and acceleration? Like from your experience, like if somebody's saying like, I want to find myself another organization. Yeah. How easy is it for them to go outside and find something else that, boom, like this?
It doesn't exist. Like, it really doesn't. When people come into our office and they see, like, what is there, that feeling of a group, of a team, of like everybody's on the same page, of like what you guys have here. Like you can feel it when you walk in here. You know, it's not just nice floors and nice walls and great TVs. It's, dude, the vibe in here is good. Most people don't have that. I work with some of the biggest companies in the world. They do billions of dollars in sales per year, and I'm telling you, if they could create this, they would pay billions of dollars. So like what you have is special. Like what you guys have is truly special, and I know because we have it. And like anytime I've ever felt like, oh man, I need to, I could go, you know, I get people that tell me all the time, literally almost every day, when are you gonna go do your own thing? Hey, oh man, I saw that meeting that you did, man. You're better than Grant. Like I hear that stuff all the time, whether it's true or not, or they're just trying to get, you know, make some noise. You know, I don't pay attention to it because I'm like, dude, I could never duplicate what he's created. And like that's what I'm saying. You guys, there's a rocket ship that's going up, and you guys are on the ride. So contribute to the ride, join the ride, because it takes a lot to build it. It takes a lot to create it, and it also takes effort to maintain it, because graphs don't stay up by themselves. It takes people to hold them up, and it takes push. And so, like, take what you guys have here as something special and figure out, dude, how can I add to it every day?
Well, thanks, Brian, for being here, Steve.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. It's been amazing.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.